Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so today we're unpacking a really fascinating and honestly incredibly liberating shift in how we understand human behavior. If you've ever felt completely frustrated by your own inability to just stick to a plan when life gets a little hard, well, I want you to take a deep breath. Today, we're diving into the hard science behind why we struggle to stick to our goals when we're stressed. And spoiler alert, it has absolutely nothing to do with you being weak and literally everything to do with how your biology is wired.
So why do you abandon your goals the second you get stressed? It's a question we've all asked ourselves, right? You set your alarm for 5 a.m., you map out this perfect morning routine, you buy a brand new habit tracker, you adopt this rock-solid discipline mindset, and then you get one slightly passive-aggressive email, and suddenly, boom, you're skipping the gym and eating takeout on the couch. Naturally, we immediately blame ourselves, but the science shows us that this just isn't a character flaw. It's actually your nervous system doing exactly what it's designed to do to keep you safe. So we're going to see how to work with your biology instead of constantly fighting against it.
All right, let's dive into this. Section 1, the great willpower myth. Here is where the whole paradigm shifts. For decades, we've been told that failing to stick to a goal is a character flaw, a lack of discipline. That's what we think is happening. But what is actually happening? It's a nervous system response. In fact, industry experts are projecting that by 2026, there's going to be a massive coaching shift towards something called neuro-wellness. This completely replaces that pure willpower and productivity framing of the past. We really need to stop viewing our dysregulation as a lack of discipline and start seeing it for what it truly is, a biological reaction.
Moving right along to Section 2, your brain under stress. To truly get this, we need to look under the hood at what's going on when you're overwhelmed. See, everything we call discipline or willpower lives right here in the prefrontal cortex. Evolutionarily speaking, this is the newest part of the human brain. It's responsible for all that complex planning, long-term goals, and logical decision-making. But here's the catch. It is incredibly fragile. The willpower it generates is a highly finite resource. The fatal flaw in almost all productivity advice is that it assumes you're always operating from this calm, rational, forward-thinking part of your brain. But as we're about to see, you're not. I mean, nobody is.
Just look at this breakdown. The exact second your nervous system perceives a threat. And keep in mind, to your brain, an aggressive email or just a bad night of sleep registers as a very real threat. It immediately bypasses the prefrontal cortex. It instantly hands over control to the older, much faster survival circuits of your brain. These survival circuits take over roughly 85% of the room. Your brain literally shuts down the willpower center to conserve energy so you can fight or flee. You can't access discipline because your brain has literally locked you out of the room where discipline lives.
Which leads us to Section 3, spotting your system signals.
If we're at the mercy of these survival circuits, we absolutely have to notice when they get activated. We have to move from the theory to your own body. Because before we can ever hope to regulate our system, we have to know when it's firing off. Your body is always communicating with you way before your brain even realizes you're stressed. Look for these physical signs. Are you taking shallow chest breaths? Is your jaw clenched tight? Are you suddenly snapping at your partner over something incredibly minor? Or maybe you just find yourself paralyzed, kind of doom scrolling on your phone instead of tackling your to-do list. These aren't random quirks. These are glaring, biological indicators that you've entered sympathetic activation, which is your fight or flight mode, or that you've dropped into shutdown, which is your freeze response.
Before we even talk about changing these responses, you need data. So your assignment is to spend one full week just noticing these physiological signals in your own body. Don't try to fix them, don't judge yourself, just become an observer. When you catch yourself clenching your jaw or mindlessly scrolling, just say to yourself, okay, my nervous system feels threatened right now. Remember, awareness is always the bridge to regulation.
Okay, here's the big one. Section 4, how to reset your system. Now, what's really interesting about this next part is that it's the absolute core focus of this explainer, how to actually hit the reset button once you're hijacked. The absolutely crucial point here is this. You cannot think your way out of a nervous system state. Let me say that again because it goes against literally everything hustle culture has taught us. You cannot outthink survival mode. When you try mental fixes like telling yourself to just push harder or trying to rationalize your anxiety away, you're trying to use the prefrontal cortex, and as we just saw, that is currently offline. Instead, you have to use physiological resets. You must literally move your way out of the stress response by sending physical signals of safety back to your brain.
So, what does this look like? Here are the hard biological switches you can pull to reset your system. These are your physiological interventions. Step 1, the long exhale. When you make your exhale longer than your inhale, you mechanically stimulate your vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is basically the superhighway between your body and your brain. When it's stimulated, it forces your heart rate to slow down and literally orders your brain to re-engage the parasympathetic system. That's your rest and digest mode. Step 2, run cold water on your wrists or splash it on your face. This activates the mammalian dive reflex, which instantly lowers your heart rate and interrupts a panic spiral. Step 3, take a short walk. Simple bilateral movement, left foot, right foot, actually helps process those stress hormones right out of your body.
I absolutely love this quote from the source material because it really validates everything we've just been talking about. These aren't wellness cliches. They're literally how the parasympathetic system gets re-engaged. Breathing exercises and walks often get written off as fluffy wellness advice, but they're really not. They're the literal mechanical levers you must pull to turn your prefrontal cortex back on. And this is the golden rule for everything we're discussing. You must do these physical resets before you try to be productive, not instead of it. Regulate the body first, then return to the task.
And that brings us to Section 5, building your stress tolerance.
Quick resets are fantastic for the moment, but how do we actually build long-term capacity so we don't get thrown off course quite so easily? Well, in the world of neuro-wellness, there's a concept called the window of tolerance. This is the specific range of stress you can experience while still remaining functional, rational, and engaged. The goal of all this work isn't to achieve some magical Zen state where you never get stressed or dysregulated. I mean, that's impossible. The actual goal is to systematically widen this window. You want to expand your capacity to handle discomfort without your brain automatically chucking you into fight or flight mode. So how do we widen that window? Through this exact formula right here. Small, manageable stress paired with real recovery. It's exactly like lifting weights at the gym. You expose your system to a little bit of stress, maybe a cold shower, a challenging workout, or even just a very focused block of deep work. And then you deliberately engage in real rest. Through the repetition of this cycle over time, your nervous system actually learns that stress isn't inherently dangerous, because safety always follows. This biological approach works infinitely better than trying to just force yourself to have more willpower.
Because of this fundamental need for recovery, the absolute #1 priority for building discipline has absolutely nothing to do with time management apps. It is consistent sleep and rigorous recovery habits. Taking care of the biological system underneath your goals is hands down the ultimate productivity hack. If your nervous system is exhausted from chronic sleep deprivation, your window of tolerance is going to be paper thin and your survival circuits will be on a hair trigger. Protect your sleep and you protect your goals.
I really want to leave you with this final thought to carry with you. The next time you fail at a habit, the next time you skip the workout or eat the junk food or snap at your team, stop asking what is wrong with your character. Instead, ask yourself, what is my nervous system trying to tell me right now? Are you exhausted? Are you feeling threatened? Do you just need a physiological reset? Because honestly, when we stop judging our biology and start working with it, everything changes. Thank you